Have you ever told everyone about something big you wanted to do? A dream, a plan, something that made your heart feel alive. And then, something strange happened. First, people smiled. They praised you. They said, "That's amazing." And for a moment, you felt like you had already achieved it. But then, the energy slowly disappeared. The excitement faded. And the dream stayed just a dream. Once, in a quiet village surrounded by hills, there lived a young man named James. James was full of dreams. His mind was always racing with ideas. Every week, a new goal. Every few days, a new vision. One day, he wanted to open a shop. The next week, he dreamed of learning pottery. Then suddenly, he decided he would build a house. But James had one habit, a habit that quietly destroyed everything he started. Before he began anything, he told everyone. He would walk through the market, full of excitement, and announce loudly, "I'm going to open the biggest shop in this village." People would stop. They would smile. They would clap. Some would say, "We believe in you." Others would say, "You're going to do great things." And in that moment, James felt powerful. He felt important. That night, he would sleep peacefully, smiling to himself. But the next morning, when it was time to actually begin, something felt different. His body felt heavy. His mind felt tired. The fire was gone. Days passed. The shop was never built. Soon, a new dream came. "I will become a potter," he declared one day in the village square. "I will make the most beautiful pots anyone has ever seen." Again, people gathered. Again, they praised him. Again, they filled him with encouragement. And again, James felt amazing, but only for a while, because a few days later, he lost interest. The clay remained untouched. This became his life. Dream after dream, announcement after announcement. People celebrated his words, but his hands remained empty. Years passed. Nothing changed. And slowly, something inside him broke. He began to feel ashamed. He didn't understand why he kept failing. Deep inside, his heart grew heavy. He felt stuck. One evening, as the sun was setting, James sat alone near an old well. His eyes were lost in thought. That's when an elder from the village approached him. The man was known for his wisdom, quiet, humble, observant. He sat beside James and asked gently, "My son, why do you look so troubled?" James sighed. "I have so many dreams, but I never finish anything. I don't understand what's wrong with me." The elder nodded slowly. "Tell me, what do you do when you get a new idea?" James answered honestly, "I tell everyone. I want them to know. I want them to feel proud of me." The elder smiled, but there was something deeper in that smile. "Come to my garden tomorrow morning," he said softly. "I want to show you something." The next morning, James arrived. The elder stood there, holding 2 small seeds in his hand. He gave one seed to James. "Plant this," he said. James dug a small hole, placed the seed inside, and covered it with soil. Then the elder took the second seed, but instead of planting it, he raised it high in the air. He called a few children nearby and said, "Look at this seed. One day, it will become a big, beautiful tree." The children clapped. They smiled with excitement. Then, the elder placed the seed on a rock and walked away. Days passed. The buried seed was quietly watered every day. No announcements, no press, no attention, just silent effort. And slowly, a tiny green shoot appeared, pushed through the soil, reaching for life. Week after week, it grew stronger. Meanwhile, the seed on the rock stayed exactly the same. It dried under the sun. Birds pecked at it. Piece by piece, it disappeared. One day, James stood beside the growing plant. He looked at it, and then at the empty rock. The elder spoke gently, "A seed needs silence to grow. It needs darkness. It needs to stay hidden beneath the soil. If you leave it out in the open, if you keep talking about it, it dries up. It gets destroyed. It never becomes a tree." James stood there, silent. Something inside him shifted. The elder continued, "When you share your dreams too early, you feel rewarded before you've done the work. People's praise gives you a false sense of achievement. Your mind starts to believe you've already succeeded, and so your heart loses the hunger to continue. The energy meant for action gets wasted in words." James felt the truth hit him deeply. Every time he had spoken, he had felt complete, without doing anything. That was his trap. The elder placed a hand on his shoulder. "Dreams are fragile in the beginning," he said. "They need protection. Keep them quiet. Let them grow in the dark soil of your effort. When they become strong, the world will see them on its own." That night, James made a decision. This time he would do things differently. He chose a simple goal, to build a wooden chair. But this time, he told no one. Every evening, after finishing his daily work, he went to a quiet corner and worked. Some days he felt motivated. Other days he felt exhausted. But there was no pressure. No expectations. No applause. Just him and his work. Days turned into weeks. The chair slowly took shape. He made mistakes. He learned. He improved. And one day, it was finished. James sat on the chair he built with his own hands. And in that moment, he felt something he had never truly felt before. Real pride. Not from words. Not from praise. But from action. One morning, a neighbor noticed the chair. "This is beautiful. When did you make it?" James smiled softly. "I've been working on it. You never told anyone? I wanted to finish it first." Word spread. People admired his work. But this time, it was different, because James had already moved on to his next goal. Quietly. A table, then a shelf, then a stool. Years passed. James became known as a skilled craftsman. Not because he spoke, but because he built. His life changed. He no longer needed approval to begin. He no longer chased empty praise. He discovered something deeper, the quiet satisfaction of creating something real. Now think about your life. How many times have you shared a dream, only to lose the energy to chase it? How many ideas faded, because you spoke too soon? Sometimes, silence is power. Protect your dreams. Let them grow in private. Work on them quietly. And when the time is right, let your results speak. The world doesn't need to hear what you're planning. It only needs to see what you've built. So next time you feel the urge to announce your big idea, pause, stay silent, let the seed grow, and when it becomes a tree, everyone will see it, without you saying a single word. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe for more stories that can change the way you see life. Thank you for listening.